John Stamos here in partnership with Cologuard, and I've got to say, so you're 45 or older and at average risk. So what? That doesn't mean your life comes to a halt. No way. You can still do all the fun things you've been doing, but it's time to take your health a little more seriously. Colon cancer screening needs to be on your docket, and it's as simple as the Cologuard test. Don't worry. You got this.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Taxi. Okay, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
So I know I talked about this earlier this morning, but it's kind of my favorite story of the day. When you go to my social media right now, which is at Sid Rosenberg 19 on Twitter, that is because my birthday is April the 19th. It's coming up in 9 days. I'll be 59 years old. Or you go to Instagram at rosenberg.sydney or Sid Rosenberg on Facebook or Sid on Truth Social. You're going to see a video of Mayor punk-ass Mamdani at Citi Field yesterday, and you're going to see a still picture of me. Now, the still picture of me was a Met game last season that I attended with Pete Morgan, Lou Ruffino, and Justin Ellick. And in the picture, you see Mr. Met walking down the hall. I'm literally screaming for him, and Mr. Met totally ignores me. I'm a Met fan my whole life. I worked at WFAN, the home of the Mets. Jay Horowitz is a good buddy of mine. I was ignored by Mr. Met. Yet the mayor at Citi Field yesterday received hugs and kisses from both Mr. and Mrs. Met. So it led me to the undeniable conclusion on social media last night and this morning. This is hard to believe, Brian Kilmeade, I know, but Mr. Met, raging anti-Semite. Thoughts?
Well, I think that's a huge jump. I do like the fact that you guys have had a chance to to connect and go over the past. You know, there is some reports that it's not the same Mr. Met every year. That maybe the man and woman behind Mr. and Mrs. Met have been rotated out because of things like the incident like yours. And last year was such a disaster. It's time for change.
Oh,
but
God.
also, Mr. Met's got to be street smart. Mr. Met has got to be able to live in a city with the mayor. So he can't just live off the friendship of Sid Rosenberg. That'll get you great tables at restaurants, first class on Amtrak.
That's right.
But it's not going to get you out of trouble in front of the mayor's mansion. It's not going to get you to the front row at the Knicks game. And Mr. and Mr. Met maybe want to go to the Knicks playoff game.
Maybe you're right. I don't know. That's why I'm becoming closer and closer. I got another text again yesterday from Yankee President Randy Levine. Please come again. Take your family any game you want. So I'm quickly becoming a Yankee fan after spending 58 years as a Met fan because I get nothing from Cohen and the Mets. And Levine and the Yankees bend over backwards. But on a serious note, while I really was treated badly by Mr. Met last year.
Just give me a second, Sid. I want to check my text messages. I want to see if Randy Levine did the same thing with me. Give me a second. Nothing. I can't believe it. So maybe I could be your +1.
There it is. Next big Yankee game you want. It's me and you, Kilmeade. He does. He loves me. I don't know why. I was in his box opening day last week with Bill O'Reilly and Reggie Jackson and my beautiful wife and my son. So for some reason, the Yankee guys love me. The Mets, they pay no attention to me. But on a serious note, this weekend, the mayor will celebrate 100 days. He's got some big party coming up at some place in Flushing, Queens, actually. It's called Knockdown Center. Not far from Citi Field. He is a Met fan. And it'll take place on 4:30 on Sunday afternoon, 100 days. And listen, I saw the approval rating a couple of days ago, 48% approve. By the way, at the same time, in Eric Adams' first 100 days, Eric Adams' number was at 61%. So for what it's worth, Mamdani is 13 points lower than Eric Adams, although nearly 60% polled do think the city is going in the right direction. And I would ask this question. What city do they live in? Give me one thing the mayor's done well in his first, Brian Kilmeade, 100 days. Hello?
I got nothing. I got nothing. I mean, put it this way. You know what? I just keep watching, and you're all over this too. Jessica Tisch, that relationship. And like he's wondering when he can get rid of her. And he's pushing her I think to the limits.
And by the way, to emphasize your point, because I did speak to Jessica yesterday, when I say that, Katie Honan and the press, they go nuts. They can't wait to kill her. But I know you saw the story that came out, which said yesterday that Mamdani says, I have no problem, making decisions on my own, not leaving it up to Jessica Tisch. He basically yesterday admitted in public that he's the boss and he makes the decisions, not her. And I can tell you, not a direct quote from Jessica Tisch, but knowing her, she could not have liked that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's bad for us in New York City, but if he goes there, he'll put some 25-year-old radical, anti-cop police commissioner next, and you'll watch this whole place go sideways. I mean, people are just going to run for the exits. She is basically keeping the lid on right now because crime was going in the right direction. Whatever you think of Eric Adams, he was finally figuring out the balance of who he, had to work with a police commissioner where he wasn't in the beginning. Things were getting better here. The homeless situation, working with Tom Homan and Donald Trump. Adams was making adjustments, and I know you have huge problems with him, and so do a lot of other people. But in all his problems, I can't get into detail, but all the people around him that end up in all these legal trouble, things were getting better because he was cooperating with Trump, and Biden was ignoring him. And while overwhelming the city with homeless people, remember those buses that were rolling in there? In the beginning, he was greeting them with hot towels and toiletry bags. And at the end, he says, oh, my goodness, I'm running out of room. I got to convert Randall's Island. And things got better. But right now, this mayor is living off what happened at the end of Trump, Homan, and Eric Adams. And if she leaves, this is a bigger disaster than if the Mets and Yankees left and went to New Jersey.
I don't disagree. And you're right about Eric. He had a nice little honeymoon period at the end. And a lot of it, like you said, was not because of him. It was because of Trump and Homan and Jessica and Christie. And he did have a good 6-7 months, which is not good when you're mayor for 4 years. But I know he feels real good about himself. We had dinner. We were part of a 10-person dinner table about 2 weeks ago. Frank Carone was there. Eric was there. And he feels real good about himself right now because the guy before him, Bill de Blasio, was such a disaster. And this guy's the worst. And I'm with you. I don't think Jessica Tisch is going to last. And there's a stink in this city that starts with the mayor that has really permeated our court system. Remember, we're less than 2 weeks removed from somehow Guy Rivera being found not guilty on the murder one charge on Jonathan Diller. That was heartbreaking for poor Stephanie Diller. Why did she deserve that? Why did Jonathan deserve that? They're going to tell me he had no intent. A criminal with 21 priors leaves his house in the morning with a loaded gun, and he had no intent. So that was bad enough. And then you get yesterday, I had both Arthur Aidala, this man's attorney, and Vincent Vallalong, the SBA president, on this show yesterday. They were on the way to the hearing, hoping and praying that Guy Mitchell showed mercy for Officer Eric Duran, who was really operating in self-defense. That moped was coming at him and others, very, very high speeds. He did throw the cooler. The guy did die, but he was a drug dealer. And this judge gives Eric Duran 3 to 9 years. 2 disgraceful, disgusting verdicts coming from our judges and courts in New York City in less than 2 weeks. Very sad, Brian.
It's absolutely sickening, but we come to expect that. Have we seen this on every level? We see on the national scene, you see all these immigration judges who Biden put in place and Obama put in place, siding against Trump. This goes right up to the Supreme Court. Thank goodness there's a stopgap there. But in New York, this is unbelievable, unjust for a verdict. That's why it's a cover in the New York Post. And, you had even the apology and the show of remorse, but still 3 to 9 years. Absolutely sickening.
10 o'clock on Sunday nights. It's the perfect way to wrap up the weekend. It's the last live, even when it's not live or it's taped. It's the last really good show before you wake up on Monday morning. It's One Nation. I've been a guest many, many times. It's my favorite show. It's coming up in 2 days. Brian Kilmeade, what can we expect coming up on Sunday night?
Yeah, we are going to be live. So we're still formatting. It's going to be all the first block is all going to be about Iran. I got to stay up with the ceasefire talks. Obviously, it's a moving target. Also, the Artemis story, the splashdown that's going to be happening tonight, and then the aftermath. I'm going to be doing that in probably my first 2 blocks. Stephen Miller is going to be joining us. Jimmy Fallon is going to be there. Lydia Moynihan from the New York Post. So we're still putting some things together now, but it's pretty much Arthur Brooks is going to be with us. So I'm putting together the show to actually go live Sunday. So people have the very latest on the situation. I know we like to talk about what's happening in New York, but New York and Iran are very much linked. We got terrorists everywhere amongst us. Sleeping cells are here. They love to target New York. We got to be ready. So we'll talk about that.